Good morning. You join me from here at Bromsgrove Station, one of two of the southern termini on the Cross City Line. Now, you guys really liked my West Midlands Metro Secrets of mini-series, so I thought I would do it here on the Cross City Line as voted by my members. So in this three-part mini-series, we're going to look at every station on the Cross City Line and look at the potential facts that you may not have known. First, let's look at the history of the Cross City Line.
So yes, the history of the Cross City Line is relatively complex, so we'll only briefly spend time on it. Currently the line has 25 stations, stretching from Redditch and Bromsgrove in the south, through Birmingham New Street to Four Oaks and Lichfield Trent Valley in the north, covering 32 miles. The line is actually a combination of lines, which were opened by different railway companies between 1837 and 1885. The line from Dudderston to Aston opened in 1837 by the Grand Junction Railway and was extended to Sutton Coldfield in 1862 by the London North Western Railway, reaching Lichfield by 1884. In the south, the Birmingham and Gloucester Railway opened a line between Bromsgrove and Kings Norton in 1840, running into Birmingham via the Camp Hill line, not the Cross City Line. The single-track branch from Barnt Green to Redditch was opened in 1859 by the Midland Railway, and the Birmingham West Suburban Railway opened the stretch between Kings Norton and Birmingham Granville Street via Bourneville in 1876, with Granville Street being replaced by New Street in 1885. The Cross City Line thus operated separately between the northern and southern halves, even when the northern and southern halves were operated by the same company, the London, Midland and Scotland Railway, upon the grouping of the major rail companies in 1921. When British Rail took over the rail lines post-World War II, services deteriorated, especially in the south. The line to Lichfield enjoyed a pretty regular diesel-operated commuter service, but services to Redditch and Bromsgrove, especially Redditch, suffered badly. The line to Redditch was due to be closed as part of the Beaching Acts, which also included closing all intermediate stations between Redditch and Birmingham. However, the actual line would have remained open for services travelling towards the southwest via Bromsgrove. Eventually the Redditch line and most of the stations to Birmingham were saved. The same could not be said for south of Redditch though. The service to Redditch now consisted of just 4 return trains a day. The newly formed West Midlands Passenger Transport Executive in the early 1970s now found itself having immense power over the railways in the West Midlands. In 1972, it recognised the need for cross-city rail services and especially the need for an improved rail service in the south of the city. Hence the Cross City Line project was launched in May 1978, costing £7.4 million at the time. The project would merge services from Birmingham to Lichfield and Redditch together, whilst Bromsgrove would continue to receive intercity services to the southwest and was not originally included in the Cross City Line plans. All stations on the route would be modernised and rebuilt, whilst Five Ways and Longbridge stations would be reopened and a new station built to serve the university. 4 trains an hour would run between Longbridge and Four Oaks from 1978, using Class 116 DMUs, with the increased frequency of services instantly becoming a success, with, by the end of Year 1, 30,000 people using the line daily. In 1980, Redditch gained an hourly service, becoming half-hourly by the end of the decade, with services to Lichfield also increasing to 2 trains an hour by extending some Four Oaks terminating services. In 1988, services were extended to the reopened high-level platforms at Lichfield Trent Valley. At the same time, the West Midlands Passenger Transport Executive were looking at electrifying the whole line to boost reliability and reduce journey times. The Department for Transport gave the green light in February 1990, with a 25 kV AC overhead line system installed along the whole line, with funding split between the West Midlands Passenger Transport Executive, Regional Railways and British Rail. Work commenced in May 1990 and was completed by June 1993. New trains would run on these newly electrified lines, which would be the purpose-built Class 323s, built by Hunslet Transport in 1994. Although initially suffering from reliability issues, the trains served their purpose well and operated alongside Class 304s, Class 308s and Class 310s until the full fleet was introduced from 1996. For the first 20 years of the 21st century, not much changed for the Cross City, bar rail privatisation, with Central Trains, London Midland and West Midlands trains all operating the service. Service frequency was increased to 6 trains an hour through Birmingham, thanks to a new passing loop at Alvechurch, whilst Bromsgrove was added to the Cross City Line network in 2018. Most recently, services have been reduced to 4 trains an hour through Birmingham due to the pandemic, although there are plans once again to increase it to 6 trains an hour in the future. New Class 730s have also been rolled out, fully replacing the Class 323s by September 2024. These new trains feature Wi-Fi, plug sockets, air conditioning and an improved overall capacity. The Cross City Line has certainly been a success and will continue to ferry millions of passengers yearly through Birmingham and beyond. So let's have a look at the stations which make up this fascinating line, and the potential facts which you may not have known about. We'll start this series off by looking at the southern end of the Cross City Line, including the stations from Bromsgrove and Redditch down to Kings Norton.
So we've now gone over the history and an overview of what the Cross City Line is, so you should be up to speed in that regard. But now it's time to actually look at the station itself, which is behind me, because as you may have noticed, it's quite a new station. So I'm actually walking a few minutes down this path to go to the old station, which was replaced in 2016. So you join me here at Aston Fields car park, which is literally a 2-minute walk away from the station. And this behind me here was the original old station of Bromsgrove, which was opened in June 1840 and was rebuilt in 1969 with just one platform until in 1990 the second platform was added when more services started to run from the station. Now in the early 2000s the council announced that they would be rebuilding the station and electrifying it as part of an increase in Cross City Line services to allow for electric Cross City Line services to serve the station. This was originally due to open in Easter 2009, but this did not happen and the station had to wait until 2016 to open. The new 4-platform station eventually opened in July and had step-free access and cost £24 million. The old station, which was here, was closed, and now there is, well, not much which survives. The whole station was destroyed, except for the station car park, which has been repurposed into another car park to serve the town. Anyway, I'm going to walk back towards Bromsgrove because I've got a train soon, and there's more facts that you should know about this station. Now, Bromsgrove is quite famous as a station, as it is on the southern point of what's known as the Lichfield Incline. This is the steepest sustained gradient on a mainline railway and has a 1 in 37.7 gradient. During the days of steam, you would have had to have 2 or 3 locomotives joined together to be able to make it up the incline. These extra locomotives were known as banker locomotives, and we'll get more onto the banker locomotives in a future station down the line. The rebuilt station building here features large cycle bays, a ticket office, toilets, lifts. Step-free access was a big part of the station and features double the amount of platforms. The station did used to see cross-country services call at the station, although when cross-city line services were increased to 3 trains an hour, they were previously 2 trains an hour, cross-country stopped serving the station, and cross-country services now pass through on their way towards Cardiff and the southwest. The services today are only operated by West Midlands Railway. There are 3 trains an hour into Birmingham. 2 of those are provided by cross-city line services. There used to be 3, but these are scrapped during COVID. And there's 1 train an hour operated by West Midlands Railway between Hereford and Birmingham New Street. That's actually the train that I got up to Bromsgrove today because it's basically non-stop. Anyway, approaching the station now.
Previously, under London Midland, Bromsgrove Station used to have golden signs to commemorate the rowing 2016 Paralympian gold medal winner Lauren Rouse. Although these have since been removed after West Midlands Railway took over the management of the station and replaced the signs. Now it's time to get on this pair of Class 730s which are behind me to go to the next station on the line, Barnt Green. Hello, you join me here at Barnt Green Station. This is the main junction between the Redditch and the Bromsgrove lines. This is where the Cross City Line becomes 4 trains an hour into Birmingham. Although, funnily enough, only 3 trains an hour actually call here. One of the Bromsgrove services per hour skips this station. I'm not really too sure why. I'm sure somebody in the comments could enlighten me. Maybe it's to do with other passing services cross country, and the West Midlands services to Hereford do pass through this station. The station does, however, see 2 trains a day towards Worcester and 1 train a day in return. So it does see some morning peak services towards Worcester. I think there's 1 to Great Malvern and 1 to Hereford, and then it sees an evening peak train from Hereford to Barnt Green. So I guess you can commute towards Worcester if you wanted to. The line and station itself did play quite a vital role in World War II. There's accounts of people at this station remembering the American soldiers which used to board and leave trains here. There used to be the field hospital trains which passed through the station and would stop here, and because it's quite an important junction, this station saw quite a lot of World War II military train traffic. There's a fly, get out. Now, as I can just see over there, Network Rail is currently in the process of installing lifts to the station. This station is not step-free, but there are lifts. But it's good to see that step-free access will be coming to Barnt Green in the next few months. Barnt Green itself is a relatively small area. Perhaps that's why not all cross-city line services stop at this station. It's a relatively small town with a population of just shy of 2,000, so it's a really small station in terms of its population size.
The station opened in 1844 and currently sees around 300,000 passengers use it per year, with around 60,000 of those using the station as an interchange. The station itself has been electrified since 1991, but the Bromsgrove line platforms were only electrified in 2016 when Cross City Line services were expanded to Bromsgrove. Now, as of recording, as you can just see behind me there, Barnt Green is getting step-free access. But here behind me are the two lifts which are going in on platforms 1 and 2 and 3, which is the Island platform, and they're quite cool. They've clearly been constructed and they're going to be craned into the site. The other lift is just in front of me here. This is the platform 4 lift, which is literally right in front of me. So they've craned that one in, but they clearly haven't craned these two in. I assume they have to crane them over the overhead electric wires, which seems quite a difficult thing to do. So we'll see when that happens. I did look online to see if there was an estimated date of when these will open, but there isn't yet, although it seems quite far off. Now, there's not a lot near the station, as I said before. Barnt Green's a pretty small area, but there are these reservoirs which are currently being blocked by the quay. These are the Bittle reservoirs, which I believe are there to feed the Worcester and Birmingham Canal, and they're fed by the Arrow River, or the River Arrow, which runs through Worcestershire and Warwickshire. So they're within, what, a 15-minute walk. I could go see them, but then I would be cutting it very fine to go get my train towards Redditch. But for now the plan is quite simple. I'm going to go train in about 15 minutes to Alvechurch on the Redditch branch. Then I'm going to wait there for half an hour. I have to wait at Alvechurch for half an hour. There's no way I can't wait there for half an hour. Then I'm going to go to Redditch, wait there for half an hour, maybe an hour, get some food, do some filming, and then come back through Alvechurch, through Barnt Green, to take off the next station along the line towards Kings Norton. Hello, you join me at Alvechurch station. Actually, is it Alvechurch? Alvechurch. The announcements just said it and I've completely forgot what they said. I'm going to say Alvechurch because I think that sounds best. Now, this station is pretty quaint. It's literally in the middle of nowhere and it's such a little pretty sweet station with nobody here, and it's just really nice. I like it. Come visit Alvechurch. It's a tiny little village which gets a half-hourly train service to Britain's second biggest city. So why not come and give it a visit? This station doesn't have a lot to say about it, but it is a pretty interesting station. The station opened in November 1859 as a single track platform, and it stayed that way all the way until 2013, when they built a second platform over there to allow for 3 trains an hour to go and serve Redditch. Now, this was the place where services used to cross over until COVID-19, when West Midlands Railway dropped the service back down to half-hourly, which basically renders this whole second platform a bit useless.
The station does still have its original station building, but it is now a nursery. And whilst I wait for my train to Redditch, I'm going to explore Alvechurch Marina and a footpath which leads back to the station.
There's a big winch crane thing there, which is lifting a boat, which looks rather interesting. But yeah, there's boats. It's quite nice. So there is a public footpath which leaves Alvechurch station and heads somewhat in this direction. I'm wondering if maybe that links with the canal and I can get back to the station this way, or if I'm going to have to go back, round, up, over the bridge to get back to the station. I'm about to find out, because I think, looking at Google Maps, this is the only area which I thought might have a path. I'm starting, oh hang on, there's stairs, I can see stairs. Look at this, this is very pretty, very fieldy. It's just quite nice having a walk. It's good for your mental health. Get a decent view of the trains out here as well. One's just pulled in there going back towards Birmingham. It's nice. It's very nice. It's fieldy and pretty, as you might expect. Everybody's very friendly, as they always are in these sort of places when you find people on walks. I might get a selfie with the horses. Made it back to Alvechurch with 4 minutes to spare until the train to Redditch. So, good half an hour spent here in Alvechurch. Do come give it a visit if you're in the area. It's well worth it. Anyway, see you there. Just going to point out that I keep on calling it Alvechurch. It's Alvechurch, I got it wrong.
But enough about Alvechurch Station and my inability to pronounce its name, and more about Redditch Station. The station opened in September 1859 and has been relocated 3 times, including 1868 for the opening of the line to Evesham. The station was then relocated once again in 1972, 10 years after through services to Evesham were suspended. And finally, in 1992, the current station was built for the electrification of the line and the line's rejuvenation as part of the Cross City Line. The second site, moved in 1972, is now the site of the bus and shopping centre, and the original site was closed to allow redevelopment of the new town. The station, after the Beeching Acts, only saw 4 returns trains a day until 1980, when the service was extended to hourly under the new Cross City Line service, half hourly in 1989, and then finally was electrified in 1992, with, in 2018, service frequency upped to 3 trains an hour until COVID-19. The town itself is home to England's only Cloverleaf Junction and is a new town, being built in 1964 to alleviate overcrowding in the West Midlands and to act as a commuter town for Birmingham. The former goods yard is now also part of the station car park. The station itself is a pretty basic ordeal. It does have a ticket office, but apart from that it's a pretty basic one-platform station with nothing much to shout home about. So now that we've looked at Redditch Station, let's hop back on the same train that I came in on and go to the next station of the line, Longbridge.
So yes, here at Longbridge Station, this is actually the 3rd station to be in Longbridge. The original station was here and opened in 1841, but only lasted 8 years until 1849. Another station, which I'll go to in a few minutes, was opened on the Hales-Owen and Old Hill Railway to serve the local car factories in the area, though this closed in 1964. The station here was opened in 1978 to serve commuters going to Birmingham. The station was electrified in 1993 and was the original terminus of the Cross City Line. Services would terminate here and then use a turnback siding just down there until Cross City Line services were extended to Redditch in the 90s. The station building has seen a facelift in recent years, although it is still the original 1978 building. According to a report by the West Midlands Combined Authority in 2022, Longbridge could be the site of a major transport hub in the south of the city. There's proposals for all cross-country services and all West Midlands Railway services to call at the station, with cross-country services currently passing through and only the Cross City Line services stopping at Longbridge. The station could thus play a major role in the West Midlands transport network, but nothing has been said of this proposal as of yet.
The station does have full step-free access, but from Platform 2 this has been criticised due to the necessity of a very steep ramp. Platform 2 did used to have a staircase and thus could potentially house a lift. However, the end of Platform 2 has been derelict for some time due to the fact that trains no longer stop on this platform as they continue their journey towards Bromsgrove or Redditch. Just before I left Longbridge, I did have time to have a look at the old Longbridge railway station, which closed in 1964 and was on the Great Western Railway and Midland Railway's joint Hales-Owen Railway from Old Hill to Longbridge.
So yes, behind me here is the old track bed which goes under the road of the old Hales-Owen railway branch to Old Hill. And the site of the old station is just beyond that bridge. If you go onto Google Maps, you can actually see on Street View that the old station building was standing here until around 2011, 2012. The station closed in 1964 and really its only purpose was to serve the nearby factories. This whole area around me, even 10, 15, 20 years ago, would have been all industrial, and it would have been serving the many car factories which Birmingham used to have, such as Rover, Ford, I'm sure Mini. There's a lot of car factories which used to call this part of the world their home. MG being another one, but of course deindustrialisation, moving overseas has changed all of that, and this whole area has been regenerated. It's quite pretty. The River Rhea, which is the river that runs through Birmingham, is just beside me, and there's a college over there, and there's a few shops. I had lunch in the Sainsbury's cafe over there. There's Premier Inn, and yeah, the whole area feels quite nice, but there's still the old remnants of the old railway line and the old railway station just through here. But let's go back to the station to catch our train to the next stop on the line.
So the next station on the line was Northfield. There's not a huge amount to say about this station, except that it opened in 1870 and was quadruple checked in 1892. The station was attacked by suffragettes with arson attacks in 1913 on the ladies' lavatories to try and promote equal suffrage for women. The station was almost closed during the Beeching Acts, but survived with a reduced service until the 1978 Cross City Line services commenced. The station received lifts in 2013 and has two platforms, which are platforms 1 and platforms 4, with the island platforms 2 and 3, being long since abandoned. So after my 10-minute wait at Northfield, it was time to head to the final station in today's video, Kings Norton.
We're now at the final station in today's video and the first part of Secrets of the Cross City Line here at Kings Norton Station, a station which at the moment is pretty insignificant but in the next few years could play a major part in Birmingham's rail network. The station today only sees Cross City Line services call at it, but hopefully from the end of this year or early 2026, new services on the Camp Hill line will terminate at this station and start on their way to Birmingham New Street. The reopening of the Camp Hill line to passenger traffic will mean that passenger services will use the line for the first time in 100 years, assuming that it opens in 2026. So this platform here is platform 4 here at Kings Norton Station. This will be the only place where the Camp Hill line services, operated by Class 196 DMUs, will be able to terminate to start their services on the Camp Hill line, due to the fact that the junction just behind me there is only accessible from these two tracks here. Now what they are proposing is the reopening of the island platform just here. Now the island platform is already electrified on this side, but not electrified on the platform 2 side. That means that if they wanted to reopen it fully, they would have to electrify the other side of the island platform. Although I'm not too sure what the plan would be, if it would be just to open platform 3, the one closest to me, or to reopen the whole island platform. But in doing so, it would mean that trains which would ordinarily use platform 4 for the Cross City Line services would be able to use platform 3 or platform 2 if needed, if platform 4 is used up by the Camp Hill line terminator service. And we'll be able to see full 6 train an hour operation return to the Cross City Line for the first time since COVID-19. Now, Kings Norton Station was historically where, do you remember earlier at Bromsgrove where I was talking about the Licky Incline and how you needed banker locomotives to be able to push or pull trains up the steep incline? Well, they would usually be stationed here at Kings Norton. There was a big sidings. But nowadays, of course, we have good enough diesel locomotives. With that Voyager passing through Kings Norton, that seems like the perfect place to end part 1 of Secrets of the Cross City Line. In the next episode, we'll be covering between here at Kings Norton over to Aston via Birmingham New Street, so subscribe and stay tuned for that. And then the final episode, we'll look at the stations Aston all the way up to Lichfield Trent Valley. Thanks so much for watching there. Check out my Discord server, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Blue Sky, all in the description below. Thanks so much to my Patreon members and YouTube channel members. You'll be getting your shout out shortly. And for now, all I have to say is thanks for watching. Goodbye.
And of course, a huge thanks to all my YouTube and Patreon members, including first class members Aaron Barry and Crispin McKee, business owned members Andrew Bowen, Anthony Harris, Anthony James Moore, ARK, Connor Grieg, Clive's Travelling Trains, Craig Mitchell 43, Dave CDF, Gordon Walker, Jay Teco, JBNEL, Lewis C21, NJTE, Rail Rush, Real, Scott Wheeler, That Transport Girl, and Will Ho, as well as my standard premium and my standard class members. You can get your name on this list from as little as £2.99 a month, and help support me from as little as 99p a month, and get access to exclusive perks, such as early access to all my videos, as well as members only videos. If you're interested by that, you can check out my membership options in the description below. And in the meantime, make sure to join my Discord server, follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky, and of course, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, goodbye.